Check it out, it's your man KP, and I like to teach. Not the smartest man in the world, but I like to read. Coming with some straight facts that you got to see. You're now rocking with your boy, Vin Arc MP.
The social construction of Nipsey Hussle and telling the truth. I know that's a crazy title, but man, I could talk at lengths, hours, about the impact that Nipsey Hussle has had and still to this day has on me. This brother was so unique, so amazing, so adaptable, and so intelligent that he inspired me to be a greater man. And without even going further, I have to say this episode is completely dedicated to his life and his legacy and what he did specifically for us black men to understand that we truly can go as far as we want to in this country and in this world. That thanks, or one of my favorite quotes by Nipsey, this technology has empowered us all. It truly has. Being able to use your intelligence, being able to use your physical ability to literally get up and go and make things happen, and being able to take advantage of the greatest time to ever be alive, ever, thanks to the technology God has allowed us to invent and use. Nip has been a huge inspiration, and I'll never forget the night that I got a call from my friend Stanley, who was in a fashion show here in Phoenix. And he called me and said, "Man, your boy's here?" I said, "Who?" He said, "Nipsey Hussle is performing at the Phoenix fashion show, bro. You want to come through?" And one of our mutual friends, a guy who does a lot of great styling work here in Phoenix, his new looks were being displayed, and he put me on the list to get in, basically a media pass. So I pulled up to the convention center downtown, hopped out. I was in. Before I knew it, I was on stage talking to Nipsey's DJ at the time. I said, "Yo, you guys filming tonight's show?" He said, "Nah, man, but we could always use footage." I said, "Bro, what's your email address? I'll shoot something right now." I brought my camera. I had a little Canon T2i. But man, I was on stage with Nipsey shooting a video at the fashion show. It was amazing. Amazing. I didn't get a chance to shake his hand or talk to him, but just being that close to him and be able to really film something and see how many other people were really positively affected by his message of entrepreneurship, of doing good business, and just being a stand-up person really was amazing. And I remember to this day on my Instagram, the post or the caption that I have underneath the video that I shot is the Jesus of his time. And I don't mean that in any disrespect to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I mean that as the highest form of honor to give a physical human being because of his ability to inspire people. Why this is called Nipsey Hussle and the social construction of telling the truth is very simple. History, I think, constructs us, humans, to be very wary of being honest. Because as history shows us, most of the most stand-up and honest people that are remembered in a big way were murdered. They didn't die of natural causes. They were killed. So sometimes I think to myself, what message does this send to people about being an honest person? At what lengths are you willing to be honest, knowing that there is a danger in it? Now, of course, an assassination attempt, or violence is very rare to happen to you just for telling the truth. But it happens enough that I think it's important to talk about. When we look at people like Dr. Martin Luther King, when we look at people like Malcolm X, when we look at people like Princess Diana, people who honestly transcended their time because they're still spoken about decades or centuries after they have gone to be with the Lord. Most of these people are remembered because they were honest people. And a lot of times we remember people as good people because they had a character trait of honesty. This is why, as I raise my daughter, it is very important to me that she's an honest person. To get onto a soapbox and to tell the truth to millions of people, like, JFK or Bob Marley, it might be a little dangerous, and then I'm not asking my daughter to become a martyr or anything like that. I'm not putting that into her mind, but I want her to have the character trait of being honest and telling the truth. But what can you do as a human to not be swayed by the unpleasant fact that truthful people are taken out? On a lesser level, a lot of people who tell the truth are canceled. I don't have any problem with someone being canceled because they are sexually inappropriate to several people, or if it's true, if it's truthful. I don't have a problem with people being canceled because of their insensitivity to a group of people, if they truly are being insensitive. But like love, you can't really measure those things because everybody's definition and idea of it is different. Like, for example, I don't have a problem with Dave Chappelle. I don't think he's ever said anything that wasn't true. But the fact that he's canceled, as it pertains to a comedian, is somewhat of an assassination attempt because the man's telling the truth. Now, who am I to say that what he says is the truth, right? I'm just a guy on YouTube. And if you don't agree with that, that's totally fine. But what I do want you to take away from this is an understanding that just because people who tell the truth are attacked doesn't mean that you should not tell the truth. I promise you I've gotten further in my life by being an honest person than I would have by faking the funk. I remember in second grade, there was this bully in my class, Miss Kuramoto. And the reason I remember her name is because she would always tell us, my name's Kuramoto, like the dragon. And she was the first person who ever introduced me to this Kuramoto dragon, which is this huge land lizard that has venom in its saliva. It's crazy. It's literally a dinosaur. And they're still here on Earth today. They're beautiful. They're amazing. They can run very fast. So if you ever see one, don't play with it. But yeah, Kuramoto, Miss Kuramoto, I was in her class. There was this older kid, like in third or second or fourth grade. He was a bully to everybody. He wasn't the nicest kid in the world. And I remember one day I was in the boys' restroom and he just felt like picking on me this day. He was pushing me and roughing me up. Pause. Like, a real cool place to pick on another dude, man. Like, not cool. And I remember I got out of the bathroom and I ran to Miss Kuramoto. And I said, Miss Kuramoto, such and such is messing with me. And Miss Kuramoto was like, hey, stop messing with him. Leave him alone or I'm going to put you in timeout after lunch or recess. And he was like, I didn't do anything. And I was like, yes, he did. And Miss Kuramoto was like, why would you just attack little Kevin? I used to be real small. Like, why would you mess with him? And he was like, man, he scratched me. And I was like, no, I didn't. And Miss Kuramoto was like, little Timmy or whatever the guy's name is, just go sit down on the bench. There's a big bench in elementary school, but you had to agonize over seeing all the other kids play. And you just sat down on this bench. Side note, this same kid, or bully, if you could even call him that, I remember watching him on that bench a lot of times during recess and lunch because he'd have his play privileges taken away from him because he was always being so bad. But I remember watching him one day. I was like in fourth grade by this point, and I just remember watching him having a conversation with another kid in the hot sun on this big old metallic bench. And I just remember being fascinated by human interaction from that very moment. It's one of the earliest memories of my life. But yeah, shout out to that kid because he doesn't know that memory lives rent-free in my mind. Well, anyways, same kid. He walks away, defeated. He got to go sit on the bench. He's mad. There was this burning desire inside of me to tell the truth. So I turn around. I walk over to Miss Kuramoto. It felt like 2 hours had passed. We're talking about recess. This is like a 15-minute break from school. But as a kid, your conceptualization of time is off. And I said, Miss Kuramoto, I need to tell you something. Yes, Kevin, what is it? I did scratch him, Miss Kuramoto. I lied. I said I didn't, but I did. And Miss Kuramoto said, sounds to me like you were defending yourself, Kevin. And I said, yeah. She said, it's fine. Go play. And that was it, bro. because I told the truth. Now, this anxiety, this idea of being a selfish liar, that was going to stick with me maybe for the rest of my life. Who knows? Memories work in an interesting way. Was completely negated because I have this really early memory of telling the truth and not getting in trouble for it. And it was very funny. I remember when I was a kid, if I was about to get a spanking from my dad, he'd always say, if you just tell me the truth, if you just tell me the truth, you won't be in trouble. Just tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. And, I'm here crying. It's like, just tell me the truth. And I remember, it's so funny when I think back on it. But yeah, man, like I had parents who were very big on honesty, as all parents are. So the point of this podcast, this social construction podcast, is this, just to remind you, no matter what history shows us about what happens to people who tell the truth, always tell the truth. I promise it'll take you far. This does not mean get on a soapbox and tell people all your business. This does not mean walk up to somebody at the mall and say, your hair looks a mess. This does not mean to be insensitive. This does not mean to reveal every single one of your thoughts. All it means is to be honest in your dealings with people. And when people want to know your thoughts, or when people want to know what you're thinking, or what people want to get an understanding of where you're coming from, or when you need to self-advocate, you tell the truth. It will take you so far. All right, man. Good luck. God bless. This episode of the Social Construction Podcast is brought to you by my new movie, Noxious 2, now streaming on Tubi. And please hit the link in the description and sign up for my newsletter so you can be the first to hear these podcasts and hear about everything it is that I'm doing for the world. Take care. God bless.
KP, and I like to teach. Not the smartest man in the world, but I like to read. Coming with some straight facts that you got to see. You're now rocking with your boy, Vin Arc MP.